Alright everybody, what is going on? How you all doing? Just finished watching episode 7 of Death Parade, and I gotta tell you guys right now, this episode is what I've been wanting for quite a while. Learning more about the world this anime takes place in, and more just backstory in general, more of what is going on in this world that they live in, and it was awesome, and I really enjoyed this episode. I have pretty much told you guys every week that you guys need to go check out this anime, but if you have not done it at this point, do it for the love of God. It is awesome. But first of all, we actually get to learn some more. This episode started off really quick, really pumping some information out there. We get to actually see what the Arbiters are, and they are pretty much, we get to see more of, not really exactly what they are. We kind of do, but we get to see more of what they're for. And they have, pretty much, there's 3 rules that make up an Arbiter, and I have them written down on my Tetris book here. But the first one is the Arbiters have to pass judgments, pretty much because that is the reason they exist. The second one, they cannot experience death, which, I guess, is understandable, even though kind of a little odd. They are judging people that they are judging people that have died, but they cannot experience death. So, and then the third one is they cannot feel emotions, which is actually pretty interesting because later in the episode we find out that Decim is a little bit different than the other Arbiters, for he is an Arbiter that has apparently had human emotions pumped into him, which is kind of interesting, because I want to see more, like, what are the Arbiters exactly? Are they made? Which kind of makes it seem that way. They kind of seem like, okay, Arbiters are made in like a factory type process. At least that's kind of how it's kind of sounding at this point. But we actually get to learn a little bit later towards the end of the episode that Decim has had human emotions pumped into him. And we actually get to see that Decim and Ginty, whatever his name is, they both became Arbiters at pretty much the same time. And we get to see, there's a little bit of a flashback, we get to see when Decim, which is actually pretty interesting because we apparently, I guess, all this stuff, all the Arbiters and all that take place on floors, and then that chick is the boss of a tower. So I'm guessing, it turns out this whole world, I guess, takes place in a tower, and from what we can tell so far, it has to at least be composed of 90 floors. We get to see that Decim is on the 15th floor, Ginty is on the 20th floor, and the boss is on the 90th floor. So it just goes, apparently, like the 90th floor, the tower's the opposite. The 90th floor is all the way down here, and then 15 and 20 are all the way up here. And so we get, apparently all this takes place in a tower, which, I mean, I think is pretty cool. So far, I'm really liking the setting outside of these bars and everything. But apparently, Decim took over Quinn Decim, the bar, and from its previous owner, who went to the Information Bureau, pretty much. And we get to see a little bit on her as well. The previous owner, she's the crazy type. She gets this new job, and she has to like look through these gems, which I guess have memories in them. I should have paid more specific attention to that, but it's like she's looking at memories, and she's deciding which ones to throw in there for the Arbiters to see. Which I thought was really cool, showing a lot of backstory on just how the whole process works. And then they talk about how there's too many deaths. There's like 7,000 per hour or something like that. It's crazy, and they're having a hard time going through all of them. But we get to see that Decim did take over Quinn Decim, the bar, and I think I thought that was pretty interesting how he took over. We got to see the previous owner, how she worked, and they're given the test to interfere with, they get to watch the previous owner go over a game with a game of pool with 2 people who have died, and we get to see a little bit more of how Decim is a little bit different with his human emotions inside of him, which I thought that was really cool. And through several points of this episode, we get to see that Decim does have human emotions, and we get to and we do get to see, like, there's, like, a little hub area where a whole bunch of Arbiters are hanging out, talking to each other. So I guess, like, I'm kind of wondering if they have like free roam over the whole tower or whatever. Maybe not going into each Arbiter's area as they please, but there's maybe, I don't know, maybe like a shopping district or something like that. 'Cause it seemed like Deccan was buying food from this area. But it seemed like even though it seems to all take place in a tower, it seems to take place in it's like a world almost, and it's awesome. And one of the last things I wanted to touch on is we get to see, we all know Deccan had that weird little thing with the mannequins. Well, we actually get to see what that really is, with Deccan having the human emotions inside of him. At least to some extent, we get to see that he's not, some weird, creepy guy who likes to play with mannequins. He actually makes replicas of, because he admires people who lived fulfilled lives. He admires that. So he actually makes mannequins and replicas of these people so that they can be remembered. He makes replicas of the people who had full lives so they can be remembered. And I think that is actually pretty cool. He's not just some weird dude who likes to play with mannequins and all that type of stuff. And there's a little bit of comedy thrown in here. We get to see that Ginty, he was having some issues judging the girl from the last episode, which is really strange for him. And he's having a lot of problems trying to figure out, what's going on. Overall, again, I gotta give this episode a 10 out of 10, showing a ton of backstory, more about the world it takes place in, more of what I have been wanting personally, and I think it is awesome. This has been one of the most, interesting worlds in anime has taken place in for me in a long time. I love the setting, the world it takes place in, and I really like that this whole episode was pretty much just a pump of information for us, and we got some character development on top of that, so I just thought it was really cool. Really good episode. I highly recommend you guys check out Death Parade. It's an amazing anime. I mean, we're only in February of 2015, but I can tell you guys right now, this is probably going to be one of my favorites of 2015. Overall, I'm really liking this anime. So thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you all enjoyed. If you guys could give this a video, I would very much, or give this video a like, I would very much appreciate it. And if you guys could tell me what you guys thought of this episode in the comments section below, I would also appreciate it. And tell me if I missed anything, that would also be greatly appreciated. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Thank you all so much for the love and support you've given this year, 2015. It's been a fantastic year so far. Looking forward to the rest. Thank you all so much, and I'll see you all next time. I am out.